Hello there, super amazing internet and beautiful creatures of the beyond. Welcome back. I hope you guys are feeling amazing today. So, what are we going to discuss today? I thought about music, because why not? Music is an amazing subject. And right off the bat, I'm going to start with the fact that every taste is subjective. We all like different types of music and different types of genres and so on and so forth. And I believe that this applies to any sort of art. It does not necessarily have to be fixed on music, obviously. But if we're going to stick to music, because I find it more soothing to myself when I'm just pondering and trying to imagine new things and so on. I believe that music is a beautiful medium that can traverse you through time and space and take you to wonderful and amazing places that just live in your heart and your mind. But more to the point, um, every generation has its time, and every musical period is specific to the generation that lives it. So I am around 1,500 years young, give or take a few decades. I'm an ancient panda. What do you guys want? So I've seen plenty of, I've seen my good share of amazing music, and throughout the eras and eons, um, I noticed this crazy concept that the younger generations are listening to something new, pop cultural, that's out of the boundaries of the older generations. They're like, oh, remember when we had like really good music? So, for example, the in my opinion, between the 40s and the 80s, that was the best period when music really expanded into a lot of subgenres and so on. So it was an amazing time to be a musician, in my opinion. And I bet you that all the generations were like, ha, it's like they cannot compare to like Mozart or Paganini or Vivaldi, Bach, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven, and so on. There's so many names. I cannot go through all of them. Which, in their own right, they're like amazing, amazing pieces. But, you know, they were for a period of time where people were starting to warm up to the idea of concerts, and music was becoming a new way of life. Not to say that before those this great artist, music wasn't something very embedded in our lifestyles, but it just took a notch into society. How music and art started to be seen by people. And then you move to the 40s and so on, and you have, I don't know, like great artists such as Ray Charles, Etta James, let's see who else, Nina Simone, and as we move through the years, Beatles, Freddie Mercury, who else was there? Michael Jackson, yeah, Billy Idol, even Pavarotti, to quote a nice classic. And again, there were so many good inspirational artists there that came out of passion to sing their songs. Versus today, when we look at at music, but especially from my point of view, I'm looking at music and seeing that most musicians today just are always in search for the best ratings, for what's trending, to copy something like other musicians are doing and so on, do memes and so on. And I'm not saying there aren't good bands out there that are contemporary, I can give you a few like Gunship, Carpenter Brut, Dimmu Borgir, Amon Amarth, Ex Deo, Ghost. Well, Rammstein is more commercial, but still very good band. Or here's one that I highly find very interesting, Beardy Man. He's been around for a while, and I think he's a great pioneer into so many types of music. He's a beatboxer, but he is a good musician. His mind is so open to music. It's crazy. It's mental. He's amazing. I highly recommend you watch some of his stuff. It will catch you with all your heart, you know. But back to the eras, like after the 80s, there was this transition of the 90s. And I'm not saying that the 90s didn't have good music. I can think of a few like Rem, like a good song of theirs was Everybody Hurts, a really amazing piece of art. Blink 182, Bloodhound Gang, come on, these were just like amazing. Young Busta Rhymes versus, oh my god, older Busta Rhymes who's just, no. Well, he still drops once in a blue moon one good song, but lately he's just, no. You should have stopped, in my opinion, of course. I'm not condemning anyone who loves Busta Rhymes' latest hits, but my tastes are a bit refined, in my opinion. Then you have like Lenny Kravitz, Sting, Robbie Williams, just, you know, super amazing. Even Eminem, he made a good debut in the 90s and towards the 20s and so on. But the rules were changing because I'm not saying ratings were not a thing before the 90s and so on, but I feel like most of the musicians before were passionate about their songs, their feelings. They wanted to communicate a lot through. They had a message through their songs, deep, meaningful messages. Um, but then everything kind of stopped in the sense that it became too commercial. Today, everyone's just seeking the new hit that will sound cool or had some interesting beats to it, and people will listen to it for a week or two and just move on. So they're not becoming classicals, or maybe in the future generations that will live in the 2100 will look back and say, "Oh my God, the best hits of the 2020. Can you remember that thing?" Which I don't even know which bands are today. I don't even want to even imagine why would they become classics. But of course, I have been proven wrong, and I love to be proven wrong that some commercial music that I consider it mediocre today can become a classical hit for the future. I'm not trying to become a traditionalist and say, things have to be like this forever. Because as people mature and become more vintage, their taste also become adapted. I'm not saying that when I lived through the 90s, I automatically liked all of the bands, like Backstreet Boys. Everybody was like, Backstreet Boys, they're just a boy band. But the older you get and you listen to some of their songs, you kind of like, they had some good songs. They had, I mean, their solists were quite okay in comparison to other bands. And they did put a lot of effort in their music. So yeah, I can't say they were the best, but they had some nice hits. But in those moments, like, oh gosh. So it all depends on your point of view at that given time. But as time goes on, music evolves all the time. And there are a lot of hidden gems out there. You just have to search for them. Um, I think I think his name is Estat Tone. I'm not entirely sure if I pronounce it correctly. And in my opinion, He is one of the few guru of music that really captivates you and uses his music. He creates he plays music on an acoustic guitar. He takes his music and creates a journey which carries you and tells you a story, and it's so meditative. And sometimes he just stops and he starts talking about these little things about life and how to just take a moment and breathe and look at the things around you and be happy. Simple little things. Just check his stuff out. Make your mom impression yourself about him if you wish. But I highly recommend him. Mm, I don't know. This was kind of a silly rant. I didn't have much to think today about, so I said, let's do something about nice music. I'm tired. I had a long day. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Stay awesome. Love you guys. Bye 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 bye.